John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I've got a new broadhead to test. I'm pretty excited to test out. It's by Zing Archery, and this is called their Fracture. Okay, they have two different models at this point, at least. They have the Harvest and the Fracture, and I'm doing a video test of each one. This is the Fracture. I'd never even heard of Zing until a buddy, a viewer, just recently asked me if I'd consider testing them, and reached out to them and found out they're based in Iowa, where I had lived for a number of years before moving here to Texas. So I was really happy to get connected with them, and I'm going to be putting this head to the test today using my protocol for 2023. And for a detailed description of what that test is, all the tests, and why I do them, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2023 Broadhead Test Process, and or you can read about all the different tests that I do and see the scores in each of the tests in the description right below this video. I'm going to be using my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds, and I'm using a Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shooting, but then I'll be using the Bishop Fat Eliminators for the really hard impact stuff. Okay, let's zoom on in here and go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put this Zing Fracture to the test. Here's a good look at the 200 grain Fracture right here. A lot to like about this broadhead. First of all, the materials. It's got a 1045 stainless steel ferrule, and it's got 420 J2 stainless steel blades brought to a Rockwell hardness of 50, and they're 0.046 inches thick. The cutting diameter is 1 1/8 inches. So pretty standard for a two-blade single bevel, a little larger than some that are like 1 inch or 1 16, a little smaller than their other one, the Harvest, which is 1.5 inches. That's their other wider model. Single bevel sharpened all around, and they say the bevel angle is 20 degrees, which I'm really interested to see how that's going to affect the rotation as well as the edge durability. Usually the lighter the angle, the less the angle, the less the rotation and the less durability in the edge, but the more sharp it can be. So eager to test that and see how it does. It's got this tanto tip to it as well, just to give it extra durability, as opposed to if that angle just continued to a point, it wouldn't have quite that extra width and durability to it. So one other thing in the ferrule, you notice it has these screws holding the blades there, and it's got two, and they're not in the same plane. One's here, one's here. That's just kind of nice opposing screws like that. So really eager to test this head and see how it does. Oh, and for resharpening, I would use the Stay Sharp Guide Fixed Blade Guide. Man, it just will do a great job with this broadhead. It took 225 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.75 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 8 1/4 inches. It took an additional 100 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is an 8 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 61 layers. It rotated just 10 degrees at 11 inches of penetration, and that's because that gradual bevel, it just doesn't generate much rotational force. The head's in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF. Here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate, and you can see structurally it held together really well. The only damage, so to speak, was the edge chatter, and it did get quite a bit of edge chatter. You can see it kind of rolled over on both sides, and that's just because of the type of steel that's used and that pretty gradual bevel that they have. And then you see the holes. They're just, decent size holes, a little bit of an S cut to them because of the a gentle kind of rotational force, but decent holes nonetheless. Here it is after the shot into the concrete, and as you can see, it held together pretty well. This is not the same head that I shot through the metal plate, and that's just because I did shoot that one into the concrete, but I messed up the shot. I pulled the shot, and I didn't want to punish the Broadhead because of my terrible shot, so I shot a different one into the concrete. That's why you don't see the edge shatter that came from the metal plate, but it did really well in the concrete. You can see there's a little bit of edge shatter there, some scraping to be expected, and then there's a slight bend to it. You can see it bent a little bit upward there, and a little bit of a wobble, but not much. It really held together pretty well. So what'd you think? You know, this is really a good Broadhead, a good overall single bevel, two blade head, especially for the price. And I really like that they have two models. They have the wider one, the Harvest, which I tend to prefer a wider cut like that. But then this for lighter setups or for bigger game, you're going to get a slightly better penetration. And so this really has its place. Check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if this Zing fracture might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for the total score and then the corresponding Lusk grade.